I got a few things wrong and I need to apologize. And yes, that apologies needs to go to you. Let me just explain. I actually tried to do this last night, but we had two power failures just as I got going. It really would make a difference. So this weekend, you may have noticed or seen a bombardment of videos and content from me, and with no real context. I was busy doing this backyard marathon, and like a lot of the things that I had hoped would sort of flow just went wrong. I finished that event, feeling pretty good about, taking on that challenge, but I felt pretty terrible about the way the message may have been received. I don't know how you received it, but I felt it necessary to share this message to you to just give you some explanation. This mess, everything felt like a mess. That's quite honest. That's what everything felt like. It felt like everything was a mess. And the reason it felt like it was a mess wasn't that I wasn't prepared. In fact, in my career and really growing up, I was a scout. So be prepared is a motto that I've lived my life, or that's been part of my life for like as long as I can remember. But that preparedness sometimes goes into a little bit of crazy mode, and I try to get, instead of being prepared, I try to get perfect. And when I try to get perfect, I get things wrong because I run out of time. Just a little bit about me and sort of what all happened and how this came about is, I'm in IT. So I've been in IT for like 28 years now, and I love what I do. I've been a tutor in IT. I create courses. I've even helped other people create their own courses. And then about 18 months ago, I started this journey of running, and like it actually wasn't running in the beginning. It was literally trying to walk, because I have gout for the last 15 years, which has been somewhat disabling. Like it's really, like it was hard to just move because I was constantly in pain. So the walking, and then that led to running, and then this led to these incredible challenges that I've set myself. While you may look at it and think that, well, you went for a little run, like, whoa, what are you telling everyone? Is I'm sharing a message because I feel like I was able to overcome something that really, like, I felt terrible. Like I just felt like giving up on life most of the time because I was in so much pain, and it got really difficult to work with people. I've spent the last 7 years cooped up at home. I work from home, and I rarely go out to see anyone just because it's so painful to be out. And I have to put on this smile and pretend, and it's just like I was just in so much pain all the time. And so this running journey that I documented on film, anyway, we bring those two careers, the IT, the tutoring, the data analytics, getting things perfect, and we take my love now for this running that is developed and the ability to create stories and filmmaking. Like a lot of that is now what I'm really enjoying. I'm enjoying making stories. I'm enjoying sharing my experiences with others. I do get comments and sometimes phone calls and messages of people who saying they're inspired by what I am sharing. So I continue to share it because I think that there's a lot of good out there. I hope also to inspire my children and my wife with what I'm doing, so they can firstly not see this man or person balled up in pain and not able to go out and do things, but someone that they can look up to. And now we go on walks and we go on outings and we do a lot of stuff together as a family. So those things are really great. And that's the backdrop of kind of what led to this weekend, what led to this bombardment of just a mess of messages. Now, so there's this part of me that also, with creating content, like I do look at the future, and I've looked at the future that's happening, that we kind of living in. Is that the thing, the future we're living in? Of content creation and storytelling. I do think that is a future that I want to be able to earn an income, and also want to inspire my children. It says like, you don't have to follow the traditional path, although like do well at school, like learn how to read, These videos will be like my living will for my children to see long after I'm gone. It will be there. Hopefully it will be somewhere on the internet. It will still exist, and my children will be able to find it and look back at these messages and look back at these things that I'm sharing, and they'll have a piece of me forever. Long after I'm gone. And so I keep creating, I keep telling these stories. So along came my daughter Amy, who is really been fantastic, and she's my eldest daughter. She's worked hard, she's excelled in her sports, she makes things look easy, but she's not competitive, but she's doing like really well. She's on the first team. She's a record-breaking swimmer. She's on first team hockey, first team water polo. She's been to KZN trials for hockey. She's going to KZN trials for water polo. She's now also been invited to these away tours. So this weekend she goes to the Midlands, the weekend after the KZN water polo trials, and then the weekend after that she's back on tour. She's going to Johannesburg, and then she comes back, and I think there's a few weeks break, and then she goes off to East London for a water polo tour. So there's 2 hockey tours, KZN water polo trials, and then a water polo tour. All of these are away. And when these things came, she came to me and she said she'd love to do a fundraiser because she had so much fun in the fundraiser we did in March. Now I was reluctant to do another fundraiser, but looking at that smile and that enthusiasm as she spoke about some of the ideas she had for the fundraiser, and she's the one who put me up to this idea of doing a run for a fundraiser, and that's what happened this weekend. I apologize. I apologize for not creating enough context and story about why I'm doing another fundraiser when I just did one in March. And also what this run is about. Because you may look at it and see, oh, but Richard, you're always running. So like why are you sending all these messages? It's just another weekend adventure that you're taking, or another weekend run that you're taking, that you're putting up, but you're talking about this other stuff and it's all a bit confusing, or you're just trying to make money from us. So no, I'm not trying to make money out of anyone. My daughter asked me to do a fundraiser for her tours, for her sporting tours. And so as a good father, most times I feel like I'm not a good father, like I'm a failing father. Like this morning I howled at my son, who for the 1800th time would not put on his socks and it is freezing outside, and I howled at him. And so I don't feel great in those moments. I don't feel like a good father in those moments. But when a child comes to you and says, hey dad, let's do this thing, like you want to do it. And especially with a child like Amy, who's really so easy to be with. She's like the eldest kids, she listens, and she really tries hard. She's first in her class academically. She's just getting 90%, 85%, 90%. Like I don't know whose child she is. I don't know. That wasn't me. So when she asked me, I really felt like, okay, let's do this. And so that's the background of why we're raising funds. When we just did a fundraiser in March, she asked me to do it. So the backyard marathon was really an attempt to create awareness around Amy going on tours and who she is. And I thought I'd do it while running laps in Bomenbush. I thought it would be 36 kilometers. It turned out to be 47 kilometers, and one of the greatest challenges that I've ever faced. So it was really good. It was really tough. Not only in doing the running challenge, but also in creating the content to share. See, I've got this idea that, using WhatsApp status and Instagram and Facebook status to share the near live things of the event really kind of helps, because they're short bits of information and you can see sort of what I'm going through at that point in time without having to sit through a long video, maybe like this one, who knows how long this thing will be. But without having to sit through a long video, you get to see kind of snippets of what's going on, sort of check in now and again when you have the time to see what's happening. Maybe you get some inspiration, maybe you feel like you want to participate in the fundraiser and give some donations. That's kind of what I thought would be like the plan. But things didn't go that way. I had connectivity issues in the bush. It was just, the signal wasn't great as I tried to work with a phone and my action camera, and like it just got a bit messy in terms of technology. I ended up trying to literally transfer data from my action camera to my phone while running edit on my phone while running, falling on my face a few times. Just bailed, got a bit of me trying to post and run. Everything's dirty now because I'm not looking where I'm going, and then post it onto social media platforms. That's WhatsApp, 2 WhatsApp groups, Instagram Reels. So there's like 7 different platforms I'm trying to post and edit. And then I've also got in the breaks, which was generally 20-minute breaks in between each lap, I got to refuel, I've got to drink water, I've got to eat something, I've got to go to the toilet, I've got to do all those things in a very what I thought would be a lot of time, but ended up actually being very, very little time. And then also take a breath because there was a lot of climbing involved, far more than I actually expected. I moaned a lot. I was moaning. No, not that much. So I think that's kind of the backstory of why I felt there was all this noise around. I feel there was a lot of noise around this fundraiser that I'm doing. Why are you doing a fundraiser? You just did one in March. But it's because Amy asked me to. And also the ideas that she's come up with. So because of that fundraiser, she recently, she applied for and got into a market. And you may have seen some of these things on social media. It was directly because of the efforts of that fundraiser in March, as she felt that she could do more. And she made all these origami things herself. She sat up late at night making stock, and then she went and sat at that stand and she sold. And one of the things she said was the experience with the doing the store was having to stand there all day, and she made quite a few sales. So that experience is, it's ignited something. And so now with this tour that's coming up, like that's why she jumped on it. She was like, it's her idea. Let's do another fundraiser. I mean, she's got her own ideas in terms of participating in some of the runs. She also tried to do a gym challenge. So she went with her mom to gym, and her younger sister was filming. So it's not great coverage, but I mean, she tried that. She's also wants to do a course where she's going to show people how to make origami. She wants to sell that as a course. Like, these are ideas coming out of her. Like, so how can I say no? So whatever challenge she's throwing in front of me, I am taking it. And I'm going to try and share it. I'm going to try and be more thoughtful about how I share that content. But I understand that that's where it's coming from. And I did feel like there was a lot, and I just showed up and blurted out, and I really do apologize for that. I am more thoughtful with my content. I post weekly about my running journeys and the stories that I talk about there. So I made mistakes. I definitely made mistakes, and I will try to do better. And I'm hoping that you want to just see a little bit about these fundraisers and these challenges. I've created a page dedicated to this. It's richardtalks.co/Amy. And there's the information about sort of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and the information will grow the more I put into it. At the moment, so kind of the basic things, and then there's the Burman Bush Challenge that I did. There's also a WhatsApp group that you can join if you want to get slightly longer format, sort of on the day. That's kind of where I'm preferring to post, because the WhatsApp stories, and it gets difficult to put things out. So I'm kind of going for one channel, and that's for the people that want to see these updates in a regular fashion. It's simply just to share these messages. You can chat with each other people. Again, I apologize if you felt that I was bombarding you with content and video and you had no idea where it's coming from, and I'm just asking for money. There's a purpose behind it. Hopefully this video explains that. And hopefully you'll join me for the next fundraiser, where there's a few things that I will be doing personally. So I've got steps. There's this place that's got like, I don't know, it's 10,000 steps or something. It's steep and there's a lot of steps. I'll share the previews of that. At some point when the weather's great, I'll get out there and I'll get some video and shots of the stairs and try and count how many stairs there are, and I'll create a challenge around that. And then there's also a ultra trail marathon that I'll be doing. Again, same principle, same reasoning behind it. So those are some of the things that's coming up. Thank you to those of you who were so kind in your donations and participating and sending me messages. And for those of you that have joined the WhatsApp group, it's really great to see that it's reaching some people, and so I'm thankful. hopefully you'll also get some inspiration. Yeah, and maybe this video also explains a little bit of the running. Like, why am I posting all these things about running? I've kind of almost abandoned any talk about business or any things that I do for how I actually earn my money, you know, to support my family, because I've just been sharing these things about running. And maybe this video gives some clarity on that as well. So I'm hoping that whatever it is you take away from this video, you take away some inspiration, you take away some hope, and maybe take away some new things to think about. All right. My name is Richard, and I wish you the best always.